We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Britt. And Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year to you. It's 2021. New year, new beginnings. No matter how you stupid fight or die. I know a lot of y'all scared to say it, but I mean, if it's a new year, it's a new beginning. So hey, what you want to do? My new year was really good. It was emotional. It was good. It was fun. Yeah, New Year's was cool, I guess, you know. I just watched TV with Femi, the ball drop thing, even though that was kind of whack. We watched something before that. We watched regular TV too and stuff, you know, whatever the case may be. Made some drinks. And then, yeah, just like that. It was 2021. It was just like, oh, we was listening to music and stuff. We had our own little mini versus battle. Yeah. New Year's was cool. I'm just happy that it's a new year, a new start, a fresh start. I know we're all looking forward to what's next. We have a new president coming in. We have a new vaccine coming. So, you know, we're all hoping for the best this year. But yeah, I didn't do nothing too special. I feel like for obvious reason, what New Year's comes, 25 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 30, 31, 1. That's literally a week right after Christmas is New Year's. So like I remember, I'm just like, oh shoot, tomorrow's New Year's Eve on December 30th. I don't remember what I was doing specifically, but I was like, oh, okay, tomorrow's New Year's Eve or whatever. And I was just like, oh, maybe I should go like buy drinks today. You know, I wanted to do like a lot of stuff, you know, start cleaning up. You know, you want to come into the new year like fresh and renewed. Even I need to get my hair done. So my hair needs to be done. My nails is jacked up. I want a new color, but they messed up too. So, you know, I'm slipping, but I'm up there. You feel me? So, yeah. Yeah, what can we say? You know what I'm saying? It's a new year, new beginnings, and I'm just, you know, thrilled that, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. Things are changing, and I don't know. How was y'all 2021? It felt weird. I didn't really, but I wasn't really on Instagram all day like that, because I was like, I didn't really see anybody do anything. But maybe people did do things. I heard the firecrackers going on New Year's or whatever. It was cool. I don't know how to explain New Year's. I told y'all before, I don't really do New Year's like that. And I think I've only been to like maybe 1 or 2 New Year's events or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it was just, I'd be closing out the year. I hope y'all get your resolutions ready. If y'all want to watch my New Year's resolution, episode that was last week, I will tag it below. Make sure you catching up on all of Britt Says. If you're new to Britt Says, I think you should watch all the seasons, like binge. I love binging. Like when somebody introduces a new show to me or anything new, I get so excited because it's like, oh my God, like I got something I could watch, especially if it's like a show that had like 7 seasons. Like I'm good for the next couple of months. You know what I'm saying? I love to binge watch. Like I love that stuff. I love that stuff. So yeah, binge on Britt Says. We have 4 seasons. I'm indecisive right now if I'm gonna make this a season. I don't know if I'm gonna just keep potting. We used to do seasons, but because I'm currently giving you an episode every week for the rest of the year, you know, I don't know how to proceed with that. So this might be the end of seasons. I'm pretty sure I might end it there, but you know what I missed? I miss doing promotion, but then again, I was like, you do promotion every week. You promote every episode every single week, so that's a form of promotion. And you know, there's so many different ways of, you know, promoting or whatever. So yeah, we might have to conclude that, because there's no way to really introduce something that you're doing. You're not doing it seasonally. There's really no way to really reintroduce it. So this is just Britt Says. 2021, I guess that's what we gonna call it, because I really don't know. But yeah, so much going on. That's all I got. I don't have nothing special for y'all this week. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, it's a new year. I didn't do nothing unique. That's weird. I didn't. But I am correct for 2021. And this week's topic, which I'm so excited to talk about, because I really have been feeling this way for a while. And it's about, are we too sensitive? Are we too sensitive, guys? You know what I'm saying? I feel like the sensitivity thing has been going on since about 2016-ish. And yeah, I mean, we've been living very sensitive lately. And it's a weird thing to, you know, jump into, or whatever the case may be. I am somebody who's very comical. I like to joke around. I think certain things are funny. Sometimes I don't think certain things are funny. But I'm in a weird space, and I think some of us, maybe all of us, I don't know, maybe some of us, we're in a space where, you know, we feel like, yeah, that's not right to say, but the shit was kind of funny. I don't know, because I know some people who dead sensitive, like, that shit not funny to them. Like, shit is not funny. So, you know, I think one of the reasons why, you know, we have become so sensitive is because everything is thrown in our face. Everything we could see on social media, like, everything is constantly thrown in our face when bad things happen, that we feel the need to be more sensitive, right? And not only that, I think with social media and just how different the news and media has become, it has allowed us to be, you know, more sensitive. Because let's say, for instance, certain things go on too much, right? So if I constantly keep seeing, you know, people dying from drugs, right? Every week, I don't think I may or may not feel comfortable making a joke about a drug addict, you know, like back in the days, people would call people crackheads and stuff. See, something's wrong with me. I play too much. But right, we might not feel comfortable calling people crackheads and things like that. And what else? We might not feel, you know, if so many things that we are so sensitive to, and sometimes I try to be sensitive. I don't think I try. I go. All right. Let's get into it. I can't even do what explaining mine today, because let's just jump in. So first and foremost, one of the reasons why I bring up this topic is because I feel like even when I do Britt Says, I'm constantly like trying to like tiptoe around things sometimes. It may not seem like it, because people say you keep it so real, but sometimes I'm really watching what I say and how I say things, and it's mad weird. It'll be the simplest things, like the smallest things you gotta watch, because you're thinking about your future, your past, and your present when you say certain things, right? So it's like you gotta be so tiptoe. Like a really prime example for me is, like, for instance, the word female. So unbeknownst to me, I heard the word female is problematic. Okay, now I know, see, and this is why this world is too much. There's two reasons why the word female is problematic. There's a LGBTQ plus reason, and then there's just a reason of just whatever. So the LGBTQ plus community, I remember I was listening actually to a room on Clubhouse, and I don't know if this is why female is a problematic word, but the girl was like, I am, what did she say? I'm getting tight. Something female. A cis female. And then the girl said, you're not cis female, you're a cis woman. I was like, okay. Then, so you gotta watch your terms. I'm not here to play with the LGBTQ plus community. If they want us to say cis woman, I will say it. So that's out the window. When I speak of female, a lot of people don't like the word female because lately the word has been thrown around as kind of like disrespectful, like kind of like, yeah, certain females, like you the type of female, like, you know how like when people say female, it's aggressive. Like they usually be like, I feel like certain females, but it doesn't come off like proper. You get what I'm saying? It's coming off like female, like you're a female. Like I don't know, like I know y'all might not even understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But for me, my problem with that is female and male is literally scientific terms that define, you know, gender. And I'm not talking about the LGBTQ plus community. If y'all want us to say women, by all means we'll say women. I'm talking about people who feel like, oh, female is this derogatory term now and blase, blase, boom. All right, well, look, if you mad because somebody say female and they be like females or whatever, or they say it too aggressive and they tone is too heavy, how the fuck you gonna tell me I can't say the word female? And that's an actual word. It'll be one thing if like people like, we need to stop saying thoughts. That's a derogatory term, right? We need to stop saying hoes, bitch. That's a derogatory term. But female is legitimately never was a derogatory term. So how is it that we have to stop saying female? You get what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like if you say it too much, it's like offensive, and it's like this weird spectrum, and it's just like certain things, like I get it, but I feel like it's the way we go up. I actually don't get it. I don't get the female thing. Like, you know what? Now we're gonna do a mid-expand your mind. It is 2021, and we gonna jump into. I'm gonna give you a snippet of something that people have been saying as to why they, you know, find why the word female has become proper. All right, so now I'm about to tell you. Well, give you a scoop from an article so I could give you more, you know, reference as to why this term is allegedly problematic. So, before every topic, you know what we like to do, expand our mind. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. So, in an article on blog.usejournal.com, titled "The Problem with Referring to Women as Females," written by Holly. Referring to a woman as females is a crime that men and women alike have committed. Okay, maybe that was a bit dramatic. The problem is not that the word that women are not females. In fact, most women are biological females. The problem, however, is the derogatory way in which the word is used. So, you know, I spoke about that briefly. People who are not familiar with how this term is used today, or people who use this term often, may find themselves wondering why in the world it's offensive. After all, isn't it just a synonym for woman? Let's start with the dictionary definition of the word female. So, adjective of, relating to, or being the sex that typically has the capacity to bear young or produce eggs. An individual of the sex that is typically capable of bearing young or producing eggs. By definition, referring to women as females reduces them to their reproductive abilities. That sounds a bit degrading, don't you think? In addition, a female could be anything, not necessarily a human. Bogus! Your dog might be a female. Do you really want to lump your girlfriend and your dog in the same category? OMG. From my observation, female is most often used by low-value men and women. Wow. To debase, devalue, and criticize women. Okay, so we're going to get into that. Reducing a woman to the level of an animal, okay, is not something that should be normal. Passive aggressively calling a woman a female strips her of her value and femininity and sends a message that she is replaceable and unworthy, neither of which are true. This disdainful and misogynistic word communicates the idea that the woman is not the prize and attempts to undermine her self-worth. I've noticed a double standard surrounding the word. Men who swear up and down that they mean no disrespect by using the word wouldn't be caught dead referring to their mother or grandmother as a female. Why? It's simple. They probably respect those women. They reserve the derogatory word for other women, perhaps younger women close to their own age, women who rejected them, women they have contempt for, or women who just simply exist. Calling women females is downright distasteful and unclassy. If you racked your brain but cannot think of another word for this type of species, try women or ladies. Luckily for you, they're the same amount of syllables too. Okay. Let's bring it. Let's reel it in. Let's reel it in. Okay. So for me, that's where, that to me is the definition of political correctness. To really dim down a word to such a point where you like, anybody could be a female. A dog could be a female. A crab could be a female. A mouse could be a female. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're still a female. Yeah, a female can produce eggs, produce babies, and stuff like that. Like, that's a bit much. Y'all don't think so? And yes, a lot of times, I'm not going to front, but sometimes when people be using that when men or women use the term female, sometimes they be like, it sounds aggressive, but I feel like we can't just disown the word. That's a real actual word. Like, and I feel like, number one, we can't just allow people to just change our dictionary. So, cause like, let's say now, what if I take the word woman and start calling, woman could be disrespectful too. Cause I remember growing up, it was this boy, he used to be like, or even on the show when they be like, woman. You know how like they call a girl woman, like if she say something crazy, they be like, woman, sit down. Like, that could be aggressive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, just that real life kind of low key just pissed me off. This is a prime example of sensitivity, politically correctness to its finest. And you know what? I have an episode talking about feminism. You know, I try my best to be pro women, pro female, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I don't agree with that. That's a bit much. Like, that's a bit much. And often when women are being criticized, they do say female. But I feel like when you're being criticized, let's say they start criticizing women, and then they just start using the word woman, we still won't feel some type of way. Like, that's just how I look at it. Like, it's just about what's being said when they're using the word females. It says it's downright distasteful and unclassy. I mean, I don't agree. My only thing is that I feel like we just don't want to use the word because people ruin the word. But you can't ruin a word. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, about the sensitivity issue and just how we just starting to just nitpick every little thing down to the bone, you know? And I don't agree with that. Yeah, I feel like no matter what, when somebody's saying something rude, whether they use the term female, woman, I don't know, her, she, it's still gonna come out bad no matter how you flip it, fry it, or dye it. Like, that's insane. But that's a very, very good example just to start the show off. You feel me? Another thing too, for me, I feel like with certain things, like with celebrities, when we go back to tweets, old tweets, and we run up old tweets, and we like to hold people accountable for the things that they say, and just jokes. I feel like, I'm gonna say this, I feel like comedians, like actual comedians, they always get a pass. I really believe that. I stand by that statement. You know, a comedian for me is the only person that can really say something a little dark and kind of twist it, and it might make me laugh. And that's because they have a craft where they understand and know how to, you know, say stuff, and you feel a little urge to laugh. So I feel like comedians shouldn't always get knocked down for saying certain things. Now, sometimes, for instance, I don't remember which Dave Chappelle special it was, because he had a lot of specials in a while, and they all gave off that same, you know, aesthetic. But because he has a very unique comedic style, sometimes when he says a joke, because lately, you know, I have laughed at some of his recent specials, but sometimes I'm not laughing, I'm just listening. So because he doesn't have such a comedic punch, sometimes when he says stuff, it does come off a little strange, a little disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like he says something, you know, I hate to talk about stuff and don't have all my sources, but this is my podcast. So I remember he said something maybe about rape. I'm not like recently on something, but the way he was saying it sounded kind of serious. Like, cause the way he talk, like the way he does his special, I was just like, is he joking? Is he serious? Like, I'm not sure because of his comedic ways or whatever he's doing. I don't know what he has created a different type of comedy. Or whatever. I don't know if he's a motivational speaker, but sometimes I do laugh at the things he says, so I'm not sure. He would have to, that is just called the Dave Chappelle comedic style. He has a style, but you know, when he says stuff, sometimes I'm like, and it's because of the way he delivers it. His delivery is interesting. So sometimes I'm like, am I supposed to be offended or am I supposed to laugh? I know you want me to take this in, but I'm not sure how serious you are because this is a comedy special, but your voice is mad serious. So I don't know. Some terms, yes, I feel are off limits, like the F word. I call it the F word because I think that word is so aggressive. I don't even want to say it. But it is a word that refers to gay men or gay people. You know what I'm talking about. It's Faggot. I don't like saying it or whatever. I think that word is very aggressive. I don't think it should be used at all, you know, period. But I do feel like, all right, let's put a time frame on it. Anything below, this might be problematic. I feel like anything below 2015 and under shouldn't be used against people. I feel like before that time, comedy, jokes, the things we said, the things we did were so different. So different. And it was dead ass funny. Like, it would really be funny. Even if you were going through it, even if you were living through it, you would dead ass laugh. And I don't know why. And that's why I say I blame, well, I don't want to say blame, because there's nothing wrong with bringing light to, you know, things that upset people. But I would say it's something with the media that really helped construct us to be sensitive. Because literally, I remember it's things like, I don't, like talking when people talk about people's weight. But if somebody make a joke about somebody's weight back in the day, and it was a good line, a good punchline, I'ma laugh. You feel me? Certain stuff was funny. Like, it was just the way things were back then. Now, was it always appropriate? Probably not. I do think that being sensitive does bring light to, mental health awareness about how, some jokes do create norms, meaning like, for instance, like I said, if we're constantly making fat jokes, we're saying that being big is not beautiful. We're saying that this is the normalization of beauty. When we talk about people's facial features and things like that, and these are things that used to go on. But now you say the word nappy, you get in trouble. But back then you say, yo, nappy headed ass. Like, it would be so funny. Like, literally, like, and it wouldn't feel offensive. But if I hear somebody say the word nappy, now it's like, ooh. But literally back then you could say, yo, naps in the back of your head. The naps in the back of your head. Like, you could really, really tear somebody here up, bitch. Oh, that weave is nappy. Like, nappy? Like, I don't remember the last time I heard somebody use the word nappy. Bitch. And then it's kind of dope because it's like, yo, we just shut that word down. But it's like, some words do be sounding bad. Like, to me, like I said, female sounds like female. Nappy, dude, when you think about it, like, who made that shit up? Like, nappy? That's the actual word, but it just sounds bad. Like, certain words, But I remember back then you could say nappy and it didn't feel derogatory. So I'm thinking in my head, are we creating these issues? Did we, the people, make words derogatory? I really think that's what happened. We did these things and now we trying to tell people how to live. And that don't make no motherfucking sense. Because nappy was the actual word. Back then, I remember, if somebody said your hair was nappy, you would get tight, right? That's no problem. All right. I mean, you would get mad. But if somebody in my family was like, it's a little, your hair nappy, you better comb it out. It wouldn't offend me. Like, all right, all I need to do is comb it out, put some grease in my shit. Or you got your little naps in the back. You be like, fuck out of here. I got naps in the back. I gotta brush my hair. Boom, boom, boom. Bam, bam, bam. Now, somebody say your hair look nappy, you might want to square the fuck up. You feel me? So, I don't know who did it and who ran. It's like we fucked up all these words and then now we want to fix everything. We made a mess and now we want to clean it up, which is a process of life. When you make messes, when you make mistakes, when you fuck up, you do gotta clean it up. So yes, am I proud of us as the people that we are trying to clean up our mess? Yes. But are we being too sensitive? Because I do miss the laughing. Like, I remember Comic View on BET. It's the 10th anniversary, so come on, dance with me, rock with me, dance with me. Like, I remember I was at my mom's house. Me and my mom, my sister was talking about like how if that show was to come back on, it would be mad problematic. And I heard too, even I was watching Flagrant, and they was talking about how they put the show Guy Code back on, and Andrew Schultz was like how they took certain things out of the show that they had in the show back in the day because it's problematic now. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating? But I'm thinking like, does it ruin our tough skin? Are these kids not tough enough? Like, I mean, do we need to be tough? You need to be tough. I'm sorry, because life will fuck you up whether you like it or not. Whether somebody teasing you, whether some shit pop off, your skin has to be tough. You have to build tough skin. That's why I used to say, I feel like everybody, and this could be problematic, should be bullied at least once in their life, because I feel like it builds your character, it builds your toughness, and yeah, like, it humbles you. Like, people who never probably got bullied before, like, they're not humble, then they don't really know how to navigate and shit. Like, most people that I know like that, or like girls who just constantly be telling they pretty, they want to have sex, they want to be around men a lot, like, because they just like, I'm pretty, that's all I am, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, what else can I do to be a model? It's like, you can be pretty and be a lawyer, you can be pretty, not saying that you have to be, but I'm just saying, like, I notice a lot of girls who just feel pretty, they're like, I just feel like I'm pretty, like, I don't feel like I bring anything else to the table but my looks. You know what I'm saying? That's because nobody never shut you down. So that's why you feel like that. And that's fine. It's fine to be beautiful. But I just feel like everybody is so sensitive. And I'm in this weird space. Like, I was thinking about this when the season was coming up. Like, is it okay or is it bad? Because now what's happened is like nothing is funny. Like, what is funny? Like, what is comedy today? Because if that Dave Chappelle shit is the new comedy, I'm not interested. Like, I'm gonna be real open and transparent too. Like, even with me, with the stuff I went through this year, you know, I had some jokes. Like, not jokes. Okay, it sounds inappropriate, but like, my humor has gotten a little dark. I guess with more shit you go through, your humor gets dark. I don't like extremely dark humor because I've seen those. And I'm just like, that's not me. I don't like too dark and too outlandish humor. But I have like little jokes. They're not like extremely dark. But even I feel like I can't say certain things about my situation because it's too soon. How is my situation too soon and it's mine? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, certain things I say, you know, I'm the type of person that sometimes I do need comic relief. Like, I'm big on comic relief. Like, even for me, he always like, all you want to do is watch stuff comedy and watch stuff that's funny. Like, that's the type of person I am. Like, so I could find some type of humor. Like, I'll give an example. When I got pregnant, like right around the time I recently had just found out I was pregnant or whatever, me and my roommate, we was kind of at it. And I wanted to beat her up. And I was dead ass. Like, I haven't felt that way in so long. I was like, and she lived in my apartment. So I'm like, I'm going to just punch her in her face or whatever. And I kept telling myself every time I see her, like, I'm going to punch her in her face. But I was like, Brittany, you can't punch her in her face because you're pregnant. Then you fight and you fall. Something happens. Blase, blase. Anything can happen, right? And I was like 8 or 9 weeks. I was very early in. So, you know, those are like the weeks you got to be careful. So every day I'm like, I might could just punch her in the face. She might not hit me back. Da 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 da. Like, contemplating, should I punch this bitch in her face? Every fucking day, son. Every day. Like, every day. Up until the point I moved out, I wanted to punch this bitch in her face. And I'm like, Brittany, just fuck her up real quick. Ain't nothing gonna happen. People be fighting every day. They be pregnant. They be fighting and they be good. They be coming out fine. So, if you may or may not know, unfortunately, I had lost my baby. So, one of the jokes in my head, because I make up jokes in my head, I'm like, if I knew all this shit was going to happen, I would have beat this bitch ass. But, you know, for y'all, that might not be funny. Some people are like, why the fuck is this bitch playing and she lost a child? That's not funny. But I'm weird like that. Like, I have my own comedic relief or whatever in my head. Like, I have the weirdest thoughts in my head or whatever. Like, if I knew all this shit was gonna happen, I would have beat this bitch ass or whatever. But am I not sad that, you know, I lost a child? Of course. But, you know, these, number one, we might do an episode on grieving. It might be real in the middle of the year. But everybody grieves differently, number one. So the way I grieve will be completely different from the way somebody else grieves. Anybody who knows me knows I'm fucking strange anyway. So this situation just made me more weird. But I was telling myself, you know, look, I already told y'all the story now, so whatever. But, you know, I was telling myself certain stuff I can't say. I'm not going to tell you all my weird jokes because, you know, I might present them one day. Because I do like to present certain jokes. But I be having, like, little weird jokes that I know that to some, if I was to say it now, even though it's my own personal trauma, I can't say it. Isn't that insane? Like, and that's the other thing about, you know, the term reading the room, right? But I heard 2021, we saying fuck the room. Tory Lanez said that. I don't really fuck with him, but I like that little quote or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I do read the room. And I'm like, you know, a lot of people are pregnant right now. A lot of people have not fully grieved the loss of their child. I've met people through this situation. I've read stories. I've heard a lot of stories. And it's not an easy process. So my process may not be the same as someone else's. So for me to say certain jokes may be insensitive. Especially though, even though my platform is small, it's still a platform. And so I have to be careful with things I say because we live in such sensitive times. And And anything could catch up with me. Let's say, for whatever reason, one day, Britt says blows up, and then they watch a snippet of something I said, I could be held accountable for it. Knowing me, though, I'll wrap your ass up and tie you in a bow and tell you I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. It's my situation, you know what I'm saying? And that's respectful, but I guess I have to be sensitive to other people's feelings, even though it's my situation. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. So sometimes, like, you know, but you don't say that. Like, I'll have, like, little funny captions and things like that. Or certain things we do, like, me and Femi might do in the house or whatever. Like, for instance, he gonna fucking build a goddamn, what's this shit called? Like a punching bag. It's like a punching bag, a stand-up punching bag, and put the shit in the nursery. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, I want to keep the nursery clean, because I just feel like that room needs not to be tainted. It's clean. It's if I decide to have a child again, it's done. You know, please leave the room alone. He builds a fucking punching bag thing in the room. So I'm just like, I made a video like this is how we're grieving or whatever, and I'm like, I can't post that because it's not funny to people. And then put me in the video, like, I'm like, Femi, why would you put this in my nursery? He like, are you pregnant? And I'm like, but some people will be like, why would he say that to Brittany? Why would he ask her if she's pregnant knowing she lost a child? Like, it's so many variables that you have to think of before you post. And I'm very much like that. And it's not that I worry about what people think, because I don't care about that. I care about the people that it might offend. Like, it might offend in a bad way. Not who it might offend and offend, but the people that it might actually make feel sad or uneasy, if that makes sense. So yeah, he built a punching bag in there. At first I'm like, I just don't want that in there, because I don't want to turn it into a junk room, because that's what happens. They're like, okay, it's a room, there's no baby. Next thing you know, we start throwing all the unnecessary things in there. You know how that go, right? Like, you just, now you got an empty room, now you want to put a leap of bullshit in there, then I get pregnant, now we got to clean it up. That's more of the mind frame, like, oh, now it's a punching bag. Next thing you know, the other day I had to put toilet tissue in there, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like then it's going to turn into this room where we start putting a whole heap of stuff in there that don't need to be in there. But, yeah, so he put the punching bag, and I'm just like, what the fuck? He start punching the bag, then I start punching the bag, then I be in there having fun, you know? And it's like, okay, to some that might be inappropriate, but you gotta live in people's shoes, because, like, I promise you, it looks inappropriate, but when we're doing it, we feel fine. And I think it's about how the people feel, you know, how I feel. Like, when you're doing it, it's like, I'm like, okay, for me, you had a good idea. Like, this wasn't a bad idea to get this punching bag in the nursery or whatever the case may be. So yeah, sometimes we joke with each other in a way that if we was to do that in person, people would be like, what the fuck? Like, why would he say that to her? Why would she say that to him? So yeah, like, I film videos with Femi all the time. Like, we're fucking nuts or whatever. And yeah, we just grieve differently. But I know that certain things is inappropriate. But what makes it so weird for me is that, how is my own situation inappropriate? That's how sensitive we are. And you know, I really don't know what's, you know, next for us. Like, how do we maneuver? Are we too sensitive? I think we are too sensitive. I really believe that. I really feel like, and I hate when we blame social media on things, but I really do feel like it's social media fault. I think we're too sensitive because we have access to too much. Number one, we're too sensitive, but then we still be doing wild, inappropriate shit. Like, for instance, back then, you could never, ever in your life see somebody die on the internet. Are you crazy? See somebody in a casket. Are you crazy? That was stuff we call the dark web. Like, the dark web, they think it's only freaky porno stuff on there. No. The dark web, there was these websites where, and we would call those people weirdos, and it was weird. They would have websites where, I never been on them, but I heard of the tea. You know, I used to be in the forum days. Remember forums? We still have forums, but forums were like the shade room. before they made blogs. Then blogs took over. Then after blogs, social media came in, and then Shade Room redefined a blog. Boom. That's how that story ended. But the dark web did not only have freaky pornographic stuff on it, it had people in caskets. It showed people dying and committing suicide and weirdo shit. You know what I'm saying? So now I get on the motherfucking phone and see somebody fucking what he put his leg in a man's neck and die. The boy Junior from the Bronx gets stabbed up, laying on the street, bleeding. Are you fucking dumb? XXX laid in a car, dead. Are you dumb? Nipsey Hussle shot, dead. We seeing all these people, and the internet was never like that. Ever. You could never post something like that online. And yes, I understand they had the sensitivity content thing, but still, like, there was a certain amount of respect. But yet, y'all want to be sensitive. But y'all don't mind posting people dead on the internet. Make it make fucking sense. Like, y'all gotta come to a common ground for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like especially with everything that went on last year in 2020, I think we need to calm down our sensitivity level. And I do think that if we become a little less sensitive, we'll have a little more fun. I believe that. I really do. I think back then comedy was so fun, jokes were so funny. I do think only we should leave the comedy to the professionals and just allow people to maybe say things on shows and televisions and their YouTube channel. And at the end of the day, you can watch what you want to watch. I don't think that in person you should be going up to your friend making fat jokes or like death jokes or like whatever jokes that are rude. No. Regular day people, when we in person, when I'm kicking with my peeps, you kicking with your peeps, we should not be down, bringing each other down, bombing the fuck out of each other, unless, you know, that's a certain thing we do. Or like cute jokes. Like, yeah, you do cute jokes with your friend, but you don't do real life wild shit jokes. Like, when I be seeing shit like that, I be like, sis, that is not your friend. Like, when people be really bombing niggas, like, some people is like, that's a culture. Like, I know in the South they call it roasting. In New York City, there's a market for that, called, you know, people who be cutting ass. You know, it is a market. There's people, those people be blowing my shit. Like, you know those type of people, as soon as you walk in the room, they lighten your ass up. All right, I see you with your long braids, looking like a fucking Rapunzel. The fuck, like, you know those people that as soon as you walk in, they just bombing you. Like, they be having jokes on go. Like, it'll be funny, but it's like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, it's and even that person, is he a professional comedian? No, but he's known for doing that. Though those people they're kind of annoying, it's sometimes funny. Like, if they're really good. I know my family, like my father's side of the family, they love to joke around. Like, we could watch a movie and they'll be like, that look like you. Like, they're really, like, they're known for joking around, like cutting ass. Like, that's what they do. Like, they just could sling jokes around. Like, it's nothing. Like, even when I was growing up, I would go to my aunt's house, Aunt Tangi's house, and I remember we would sit in the kitchen and just joke on each other. I swear to God, like, I'll never forget it. I was like the only girl. I used to have to come up with jokes or whatever. So I think that's also too, it depends on your lifestyle and your family style. So that's another reason why I could joke around. I don't mind roasting to an extent. I do have a semi-tough skin, especially now, more things I've been through. Like, certain shit can't even, you know, get to me. You go through some real shit in your life. Other things, remedial things, can't even. You build your confidence up, girl. You start loving yourself a little more. Certain things, you just. But we'll talk about that this season. We'll definitely jump into those type of topics. But yeah. I feel like we do need to joke around a little more. Like, let's laugh a little more. I feel like there might be a consensus on that. I feel like there's a real big market of people that if we were to say an inappropriate joke, a lot of people would laugh. Like, I really think there's a market for that. why is the camera coming out of focus? Sorry for the people who streaming, but I think there's a market for that. I think that we could try it out and see. You know, it is, and it's all about how we do it too. Like for instance, you know, with dark skinned girls, right? Remember, a lot of times they were saying like on a lot of shows like Martin. Who else? What other show? Martin. A lot of shows that come out, the dark skinned girl is the butt of the joke or whatever, right? They always argue with her, calling her names. All right, so let's switch it up. Let's make sure it's different complexions and not just different complexions. Maybe we should only do this in black sitcoms. Like, it could be, a black girl. And it could be a Spanish girl. It could be an Asian girl. It could be an Indian girl. And we just bomb her. Yo, I gotta go. I have to go. Like, maybe she could be the character we be bombing. Like, you feel me? Like, why do we only do this in black shows? What I will say, like in The Office, Toby, he's a white man, and they used to like really, well, Michael used to always bomb him for no reason because he just didn't like that he was HR. So, you know, it happens in other shows, different races, ethnicities, but you know, maybe we do need to switch it up. Some people like, we shouldn't bully people in the workplace. No, we shouldn't bully people on shows in general. We shouldn't have friends like that around us. That's problematic and insensitive, and we shouldn't do that. But it was a little funny, you know. We shouldn't. In real life, this is what I'm talking about. These are shows. These are fictional characters. In real life, should you have a friend and you bomb them constantly? No, that's fucked up. That fucks up people's mental health. Know the difference between what you could do and what you can't do. That's what we really need to figure out. I figured it out. We need to get back into teaching, just like, you know how people be saying, it's not my job to raise your kids, or whatever the case may be. Like, celebrities love saying that. Like, yeah, they watch me, but tell your kids they shouldn't idolize me. That's a big fucking fact. What we need to do is talk about, just because of some of the things I see on TV, books, novels, these things were created for us to reach into another world, live a different life, fantasize about different things, right? It's an escape. So why the fuck you doing the shit that you see on TV and on social media? This is not meant for you. You should not bully the HR guy at work. You know fucking better. Now you know damn well. Oh, we're perpetuating certain ideas and stigmas. Now you know damn well you cannot call your aunt a fat bitch or something just because you saw that shit on TV. Make it make motherfucking sense. Now you know damn well you cannot disrespect a gay person just because you seen that shit on TV. Stop. Grow the fuck up. Oh, you're perpetuating certain ideas and ideologies. Bitch, no the fuck we're not. Okay? Because all year, since like 2016, y'all been telling me what the fuck I can say, what I can't say, what I can do, what I shouldn't do, how I shouldn't do it, how I shouldn't flip it, how I shouldn't fry it, how I shouldn't diet, how I shouldn't eat, how I shouldn't sleep. You've been teaching us for the past 5 years how and what not to do. So if you put the shit on TV, I'ma still know, look, that was funny, but I ain't gonna do that on my personal time. And a lot of this shit is grown ass adults doing this dumb shit. You're a whole adult. Like, stop. And then for those of y'all that's parents, tell your kids, like, look, everything you see on TV, everything you see on social media is not meant for you. Everything you see is not something you should be repeating and you should be saying back. And you educate them on that. Like, before you say or do something, maybe you should step to me and ask me, is that appropriate for me to say? Isn't that offensive? Like, how you don't know what's offensive and not offensive? Like, stop. Like for real. Like, really, knock it off. Like, for real. Like, we need to know. Like, you should be able to watch TV. And that's what comedy really was before, too. It's really real life stories, things that happen. They make you laugh because it's so real but so wrong. And it's so funny. It's like memes. Like, you know, that's one thing I loved about social media is, like, a lot of the things that I went through, I felt like was only my experience, but I'm realizing this is a black experience, you know, the way that things go on at family gatherings and like the terms who all gonna be there, or just certain things that us black people do. I realized, like, yo, this is just us, you know what I'm saying? Like, just know, like, it's okay. We could watch these things on TV and laugh about it. We should be watching things on TV and laughing at it because it's so abnormal. Like that going back to the show The Office, I like The Office because the show is so abnormal for them to have a boss like that, or just the shenanigans they do at the workplace, right? These things aren't things we should feel comfortable doing on our own time, okay? So I do think we're too sensitive, and I do think we need to get back into being jokey, but understanding that the things that we see on TV and on social media, leave that to the comedians and the inspiring comedians, people who's dead ass serious, you know. And also too, if you don't like it, leave it. You know, the other day I ran into the officer Tatum, and he's problematic. He wears like Blue Lives Matter shirts. He was rocking the Trump shit, the Trump hats, and that's one of the reasons why I love that Trump lost, because a lot of y'all careers finished. A lot of people created careers just off of Trump. Just him being in the office, him running for office. Now he lost. What the fuck is your platform, dummy? You wanted to be a Trump troll, now you can't, because he's out of the fucking office. So knock it off. So I ran into him. Why did I run into his ass? I think he was like, he said he was doing a video about the incident that happened with the white lady and the boy with the iPhone. You guys probably all heard about this unless you live under a rock. So I thought he was like, you know, giving me some advice. And I realized once the video came on, he had on a Blue Lives Matter shirt. I was like, okay, that's fine, because his name is Officer Tatum. So I'm like, oh, he's a police officer. So obviously, because you know, if you're a police officer, you probably gonna ride with your people. You gonna ride with the blue. So I'm like, okay, he's an officer, big fucking deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? He lived that life. He's about that life. Then he was like, he wasn't, his stance wasn't problematic, but it was problematic. So then I went on another video and I see Trump and I'm like, okay, so he's problematic. I'm no longer watching his shit. Now it's on my recommendations and I'm pissed, but I know like he's not for me. He has the right to say whatever he wants to say. And let me tell you, he will always be held accountable for it. Because I was watching him and I'm like, is he doing this shit for clout? Because you doing this shit for clout, and all the shit can catch up to you in the long run one day. Like I feel like people shouldn't do things for money and attention that really don't align with them. I don't know, but all I know is that after I noticed he was like a troll, I said, that's not for me. But by all means, he could post whatever he wants on the internet. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, that man can do so. And that's what we need to do. I don't like him, I don't watch him. I don't like it, I don't watch it. I don't like it, I scroll. I don't like it, I don't double tap. It's that simple, you feel me? So, you know, it is what it is. Let's stop with the sensitivity. I think we're too sensitive. I miss the jokiness of life. You know, it is very, for some, you know, it helps our mental health, believe it or not. Like I was telling you about, you know, some of my specific situations and some of the jokes I do and I have lined up. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't fix what happened, but it helps you, I don't want to say normalize, because you don't want to normalize that type of stuff, but one of the basic things of therapy and also grieving is for you to learn, because you'll never really get over a loss, but it's for you to learn how to live with that loss, right? And live appropriately. Because what some people do is that they grieve and they're grieving all day, every day. You'll never really get over a loss. That's just, unfortunately, that's what it is. That was one of the hardest things I heard when it first happened. I was like, what? Like, I she was like, I was like, is it gonna get better? Like, am I gonna like eventually like get over it? And she was like, no. I was like, oh shit. Like, mad people was telling me like, no, like, bitch, no. then when you go to therapy, and this is why, you know, learning is so important, and just reading, you just have to learn how to live with loss, like to live with it, be able to walk in life with it, and I don't know the specific word, but we'll talk about that later, right? So for me, being able to make a joke, it's helping me learn to live with it, if that makes sense. It may not, but like I said, we're a little too sensitive. We all need to get back into just having more fun, especially because, you know, last year was crazy. We're not going to say any names, but last year was crazy. Like, let's have fun. Like, we already spoke about that. Like, we just trying to have fun. We trying to be chill. We trying to vibe. We trying to click. We trying to dip, click. Hey, we trying to have fun. So, yeah. This episode was great. I'm getting so much better. Like, my episodes are longer. I know how to flow into the topics. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will definitely see you next week. Make sure you're following me on all platforms. We're going to post it somewhere over here. And yeah, make sure you follow me on all platforms. Make sure you're leaving a review. Make sure you're tapping in, you're checking in, you're doing your due diligence. And yeah, I will see you guys next week.